れがレクイエム。
Disgaea 6, Defiance of Destiny!
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Sho back with another video, and today Disgaea 6 review. I've been waiting for this game for quite a while. I got it a couple of days ago. I actually found a retail copy. Like somehow some stores had broken street date and an undisclosed part of, I'm not gonna tell you, but basically, I ended up getting my hands on the game early. But here's the thing: I streamed it like 2 days ago when I first started the game. I played through this game. And I had a fun time enjoying. I want to put this disclaimer out here first. I had a fun time actually playing it. This is not going to be a very structured review. I'm just going to talk about a couple of things I really liked, a couple of things I didn't like. This is mainly to see if you guys should buy it, if it's worth your money. Me personally, I think the End of the Sky game, if you haven't played End of the Sky game, 1, 4, and 5 is on Switch at the moment, and that also comes with all the DLCs. So let's get into the meat of the review. Now, I made a video quite a while back when they actually talked about switching from the 2D sprites to the 3D animation, and a lot of people didn't really like it because they felt like it basically kind of ruined the style and the flair of Disgaea, because the Disgaea games always have been 2D. It's something that you definitely gotta get used to. When you get used to it, you definitely don't want to get away from it. It's such a fun and unique art style. So me, like many fans, was kind of hesitant when I heard they actually decided to move it to a more 3D format. Now, I've heard actually different reasons for this, but the main reason I heard is that basically the company that makes the game or develops the game or whatever, they're kind of showing no funds at the moment. This guy is sort of a niche series. Like you might play a Disgaea game, fall madly in love with it, and then ask the next person, and they may not know what Disgaea is or the franchise in general. They might not even have heard of those types of RPGs. It's actually crazy though, because when they talked about switching this and they talked about how they were out of money, 3D sprites may be cheaper and stuff and everything, and then somebody came back and basically was saying that no, it wouldn't necessarily be cheaper, considering that they already have a lot of like base sprite models already upgraded and already uploaded, so they would basically just have to worry about the newer sprites and stuff. But to each his own. I'm not really in the company aspect of gaming, so I really wouldn't know. But today we're talking about the actual gameplay part, like gameplay, story, and everything. Obviously story is not really a heavily critiqued aspect of a Disgaea game, because the story is always silly. It's always kind of fun and kooky a little bit, and that's exactly what you get with this Disgaea game. It's definitely a fun, zany story. It's kind of one of the weaker ones in the Disgaea franchise, if I had to judge the actual story. I'm saying, like, story is not a very highly thought on aspect of a Disgaea game. Like, you don't really think about story when you're trying to review a Disgaea game. The thing you do think about is gameplay. And while we'll get to that, let's get to music first. I kind of like the music in this one. I think the actual main bass theme stuff is really lovely. I really like the melodies and the vocals in it. And obviously, they have it in every Disgaea game, but I really like it here. I really enjoy the one in 5. I really enjoy the one in 6 because, I don't know, it's just something about it. It's just really kind of soothing. Now, if we're talking about characters, I actually love the characters in this. This is one of the actual strong aspects of the game to me. I feel like a lot of people would disagree with me because Zed he seems like a very one-dimensional villain and villain turned hero type character, but honestly I really liked him. I liked his energy. He was kind of more energetic without really being annoying. Like there were times where like Zeroken from Disgaea 5 would be kind of annoying in his approach to things, and it kind of seems like that he's very energetic, strives to be stronger because he has things to protect, and I really enjoy that. His main goal is to defeat the god of destruction. I absolutely love Zed. I don't know, it's just he's just kind of grown on me. And I'm not really going to speak about any of the other characters because you'll have to decide whether you want to see them on YouTube, because I don't want to spoil it for you guys. It's definitely a lot of cool and wacky characters that come new in this game, not including the DLC, which we will not get to in this review. Now, as far as the graphics, I don't necessarily want to, it's kind of crazy. I kind of want to discuss these two back-to-back graphics and gameplay, because this is kind of where it fizzles out. Let me say this. Obviously, this game was more patented towards newcomers. Obviously, we have switched to the new 3D model. I'm going to go ahead and say it. I really wanted to like this 3D system. It feels weird, And in some aspect, I kind of enjoy it. It's different. I do love the cutscenes. I love the cutscenes being in 3D. I feel like that definitely should have been a change where the cutscenes were in 3D. I love the way they look. I love how smooth they feel. I love everything about the cutscenes in 3D and the new 3D model action or whatever. I really love that, honestly. I'm really a big fan of all the like super attacks being kind of, in a way, upgraded. You know, and the 3D modeling for those look very, very silky. Look very smooth. So I really enjoy those like battle animations and stuff for the moves. The game itself is actually following a trend that I see a lot in a lot of different games, where you basically have like a graphics mode. The graphics look the best, balance mode, and you have like a performance mode. I have personally chose balance mode because let me tell you why. So I chose the actual graphics mode at first, and the game felt so choppy. If you see me actually playing on the stream, I actually know that it feels choppy, and the frame rate just feels like it's just like terrible for some reason. And I ended up, the second setting I went was all the way performance. I wanted to see what it felt like. It felt really smooth, but then the graphics were just like blurry ink dots on my screen. It was horrible, just choosing straight performance. Now normally when I'm playing the game on a next gen console like Xbox Series S or PS5, I like to basically, you know, upgrade the performance. I like the performance to be upgraded. That's normally because those games actually look amazing, you know, in just that base non-graphics boosted version. Performance mode is definitely not the way to go for me, because it basically just put like a big motion blur or something on the screen. It honestly just looked like it was just very cloudy version of Disgaea 6. It was terrible. Very smoother, I guess. Not as smooth as I would like it to be as far as the graphics being that bad, but definitely a smoother experience. And then my last one was to try the balance. I said, okay, the graphics for me don't really work because it's too choppy on the performance end. I want to say that all of the battle animations, they actually look crisp no matter what you actually do. Like whatever you do, it'll absolutely look crisp. So, you know, don't worry about the battle animations being messed up. I feel like they really did a good job with rendering those. And as for balance, I really felt as though balance was probably the best, because balance made it a little bit more graphically inclined, I guess. Like it looked a little better. It looked honestly a lot better than the actual performance mode. Performance mode is something I definitely wouldn't try. Especially going straight from graphics to performance mode is definitely something you should not try. Maybe they'll patch it later and you know, more updates and stuff, but at the moment, performance mode is definitely not the way to go for me. I chose balance, so whenever my units get on the field, they don't feel all choppy and stuff. It actually plays quite well on balance mode. The graphics look decent, you know, decent for what it could be. And now we move on to gameplay. I didn't want to breeze by graphics. I want to talk about all the different settings and stuff. And now that we've done that, we're talking about the part I feel like is the weakest of all the Disgaea franchise. Like I said earlier, obviously this game is catered towards newer players, and that's a really smart marketing strategy, because I said that a lot of games have fallen into this. They've basically made it so that newer, you know, maybe less experienced players with these type of franchises, you know, can actually get in there and have some fun. And I'm all okay with that, honestly. You know, basically graphics made it so that it was real stuttery in a way. Battle animations look nice in either setting, but then balance was the way to go. Now, balance to me made it so my stuff didn't really kind of jitter around the screen, and I really enjoyed that. But let me say this: battle has been stripped down to basically nothing, honestly, in my opinion. Monster units, they seemingly become useless, because the thing for me was, right, and them taking out magic change. Now, here's the crazy thing, right? Now, a lot of these different Disgaea games, they kind of switch out mechanics, like Pokemon, you know, basically when they bring in Z moves and stuff, and they bring out Mega Evolutions. Now, they did the same thing that Pokemon did in a sense, where if you can kind of see it, like for some reason they on the Switch, whenever they come out with newer games, they just take out a lot of mechanics. The newer Pokemon took out Mega Evolutions, right? Which is, in my opinion, one of the best mechanics that they ever added to the game. Really brought life into the game. They were obviously kind of powerful and overpowered in some sense, but definitely way better than Dynamax. And Dynamax was basically like the new gimmick with like the newer Pokemon games. In this game, you got Super Reincarnation, which is basically like the regular reincarnation from the original Disgaea series games, but in a slightly different way. Monsters can actually lift and throw, and they can actually equip any type of weapon, so they don't have to equip monster weapons at all, which I think was kind of stupid, because what's the point of even having a monster weapon at that point? They took out Magic Change in the game. This actually really made me to know that Magic Change was out, because I really loved that ability. You know, I love to be able to use monster units for swords and weapons and stuff for my human characters. That was something definitely to do with the monster characters. Now the monster characters are basically humans that are technically monsters, and they don't really seem interesting, like, at all. The new systems basically have been changed, especially more easier, more beginner friendly, with stuff like magic chains going and monster mounting and stuff, and every monster can lift and do all that stuff. They basically make it easier and more accessible for new players, which I get. It's basically like the Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee of the franchise, where they kind of switch it up to a format where newer players can come in and learn how to play and stuff really easily, and it won't be too hard and everything. But honestly, that's fine if you want to do that, but I honestly don't think that the best choice was to take out stuff like magic change, and you know, they took out a lot. I don't really have the time to really go over all the stuff that they took out in the video, but it seems like they took out so much and literally nothing in return. So these are all just like cut content, just stuff that was just taken from the game, and again, the core mechanics, which I don't honestly think will be brought back in. Maybe they can, maybe they won't, but I don't think it'll be brought back in. I think it's pretty much at this point a wrap on that. Other than like all of the features that are missing, gameplay itself is actually kind of the same. Honestly, it's kind of the same. I don't mind that though, because I've been a Disgaea fan because of the combat itself. It's very slow paced. To kind of, you know, you can speed it up with the better auto battle. I believe they had auto battle in one of the Disgaea games, but now they got it where you can basically set. If you guys remember Final Fantasy 12, they had this system called gambits. You can basically set gambits so that your characters, when they're actually moving by themselves, they can perform how you want them to perform by actually setting that different, you know, gambit or intelligence, as they call it in that game. You know, you can basically control your computers without controlling it, and that's really cool, I guess. But I gotta say, I'm not the biggest fan. I'm just not really the biggest fan of Disgaea 6. I love it. Do I love it? Is it a good game? It is a good game. If it wasn't a Disgaea game, honestly, I can't really say if it wasn't Disgaea. It's so much like some of the other Disgaea games, the wacky story and the, you know, slow, methodic, planning stuff out type of combat that I really love. I definitely would say that it's more like Disgaea than it's not like Disgaea in a way. It's just that they took out a lot of stuff. Honestly, this game is probably meant to be the game that's to try to save the franchise and stuff, and it's probably why they're marketing it heavy and stuff, because this might be the last Disgaea game we get, considering that, you know, if the company's not doing that well, this actually might be the last game if the sales don't improve. The thing about it though, I feel like them taking out all the content to actually make that sell better and stuff, I feel like they should just do like the other games and basically left it in. If you choose to use it, you can, but it's not necessarily a thing that you need in order to make, you know, the game a little bit easier, like forever. Other than that, guys, that's pretty much all I got for the video today. This was a very non-stretch review. If I had to choose and say like what I want to do with Disgaea as far as like my rating system, I'll definitely say buy it. It's definitely worth the hours of the money that you might put into it. Because for me, if you put in a good amount of hours, if I can at least get, if I can, and this is not specific at all, honestly, this is like a broad statement. If I can get maybe about, if I'm paying $60 for a game, if I can get 60 hours out of it, I think it's an absolute buy. If I can at least squeeze 60 hours of content that ain't just fluffering and stuff, I would definitely buy it. And I feel like Disgaea is a game you can easily spend 60 hours into. And maybe some of the older ones a little bit better because, you know, you have more intricate systems. You can get into a lot of systems that were taken out in this Disgaea game, but definitely buy it if you haven't bought it. Definitely a good game. Probably the weakest out of the Disgaea franchise, besides like 1 and 2, which feels really dated, and 3 also, it feels kind of really dated and old. This is definitely, as far as the 4, 5, and 6, this is probably lower out of the, you know, out of those other 2. Well, with that being said, guys, please like, subscribe, and, you know, let me know if you guys enjoyed the review. Like I said, this is very unstructured. This is just my honest thoughts on playing the game. You know, I didn't want to get no script together. This is just me talking about the game, because I specifically wanted to do a review on this because I kind of have mixed feelings about it. I love the game. I feel like it's definitely not a waste of money, but as a Disgaea fan, it's definitely lacking a couple of things that maybe can get patched in a little bit later on.